All right. Welcome everyone to our training this evening to how to maximize your online advertising through Facebook, through the Idaho SBDC. It's being presented by Dallas from Inspire, and I'm very excited. Thank you all for being able to pivot and jump online in our new world that we live in. Doing things virtually is going to be very useful, and so we're delivering all of our services online. Speaking of which, just wanted to take just a moment to give you an update of what the SBDC is doing, and for those of you who might not know. So my name is Kim Sherman-Labrum. I am the training coordinator and a business consultant that specializes in the online world, marketing, and pretty much any kind of digital media here at the Small Business Development Center that's housed at Boise State University. So the Small Business Development Center, for those of you who might not know, exists to help entrepreneurs become more successful. And we do that through a core set of services, one-on-one confidential consulting, as well as trainings that either we deliver ourselves or we go and find people in the community who know more about it than we do, hence why I've invited Dallas this evening. And we also have in the Boise area 2 accelerator spaces that one of them is in downtown Boise, one of them is in Nampa, and it allows small businesses to get out of their homes and go to a place and have all of the accoutrement that goes along with having your own office space, which is a little less of a option right at the moment. I realize probably most of us are working from home or trying to transition that way. So, but eventually life will return to normal, and that might be an issue. So, with that, I'm going to let Dallas talk because you all didn't come to listen to me. And so I'm going to let him do his introduction and get talking. So.
Thank you, Kim. I just want, hello everybody. I know this is a unique situation, but I hope this evening we can dive in here and even change things up a little bit. We teach this quarterly at the SBDC, but we have a small group as well, which I always like because I can kind of provide some extra bit of value, a little bit more one-on-one. So I want to utilize a couple things just to make sure we're can be as smooth as possible. The chat function in here, looks like we have Valerie, it might be on the phone. I just want to make sure everybody can hear us. We do have a presentation. Can everyone see my screen? Go ahead and use the chat function. Let's test this bad boy out. If you can see my screen, just give me a comment on the screen. Let me know you can see it in the chat. We'll also unmute people for some questions and different things like that. And I see Gray, Alicia, is it Alicia is the first name? Valerie, you got it. Keith, we got it. Gigi, we got it. That looks like everybody that's in. Perfect, perfect, perfect. While we're at it, I'm gonna share a doc with you that we're gonna be going through here through the chat. I wanna see if anybody can access this. It should say value journey worksheet. We're gonna dive into it. Here, this is a resource for you. It looks like its file was sent successfully. And, oh, it should have been to everyone. Did everyone get it? I'm gonna try it again. Nope, not everyone. We're gonna try again. It looks like I sent it to just Keith. All right, there we go. Sent it through. With that said, we got it dialed in. I'm going to try to stay excited here and be as I'll probably talk with my hands a little bit. If you have any questions, I'm monitoring this chat right here. So just message it through and let me know, and we'll kind of stop periodically. There's a couple stops we'll have throughout this presentation where there'll be a chance for you to kind of dive in and work on something. I want this to kind of be a working session, and the goal to be that you actually come away feeling like you have some value that's going to be helpful. Everything that we're going to learn here is going to be extremely helpful, especially in times like right now where just this current situation that's going on. So a lot of what we're going to learn today is going to be helpful in this. So with that said, any further ado, I'm going to quit rambling and jump right in. And I want to kind of start with a story of a gentleman named John Wanamaker. Anybody's heard of John Wanamaker? He was actually quite the famous businessman in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And what John Wanamaker is famous for is, if anybody knows the department stores Macy's to this day, back in the day, those department stores like we have now weren't popular. Even actually, a lot of stores didn't have price tags on them. They didn't have a lot of things that stores normally do. And so John Wanamaker was this kind of really exciting person that really took the retail world a long, long ways. And as he grew Wanamaker stores, which in the famous Wanamaker, Oregon, which you can still see in Philadelphia and back east, his Wanamaker department stores basically became what is now Macy's a long, long time ago. But he was very famous for his advertising. That's why he was able to grow his stores to be so large and become such a successful business person, was because he was just known to be kind of leading the charge when it came to marketing and advertising, even back in the day. And he's famous for this saying right here: half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. And we've probably heard this before, because people are still saying it today. And the crazy thing to me is we're looking at almost 100 years later and we're still saying, I don't know which half was utilized or which half was wasted, right? And this should not be the case. This is absolutely should not be the case, because we have technology, we have the tools, we have the resources to be able to measure the success and failure of our marketing efforts. I think the problem is today that we just don't necessarily know what tools are available to us. So with that, we want to help you identify what those tools are and how they can be helpful for you. We don't want you to be like John Wanamaker back in the 1800s. It is 2020, and we want you to be able to measure your return. So if you don't want to be like John Wanamaker, just comment, I don't want to be like John Wanamaker in the chat. I'm going to try to keep it going here. Just to add a little bit, so you're not just staring at me at the screen, we can add a little action. But if you don't want to be like John Wanamaker, let me know in the chat. My goal for this workshop is pretty straightforward: to learn new tools and strategies to get the most out of your advertising marketing efforts. And to give you a little bit of background on how I got into this, I'll tell you about Inspire Media in just a second, but I think it's relevant for everyone to kind of see the perspective, the lens that I'm seeing things through, and the lens that I kind of have built my businesses on. Vivid Roots is actually my first business that I started. This is a picture of myself here with my good buddy, and we are in a little tiny school in Guatemala. And what Vivid Roots does is we're actually a travel agency and tour operator that takes people on what we call impact adventure trips down to Guatemala and down to Ecuador. During this time, I think there's a picture right up here too in my video camera of some friends of and a group that we took down there climbing a volcano. So that's what we do. We do exactly that. We adventure through these countries, climb volcanoes, explore, and we in the middle of them, we actually go and help increase access to clean water, education, and health services. So, by the way, welcome to the party, Marie, or Mary. I apologize if I said that wrong. But anyways, Vivid Roots. It's been an extremely exciting journey. Here's a picture of a group that we took down there with about a few hundred women who were served by this health center that had a bunch of holes in the roof. It was actually raining on the women and the children as they were getting treated. And this group that came down was able to fund a new roof and help renovate this health center. It was really exciting. And I tell this story because, obviously it's something I'm passionate about, like we are with all of our businesses. We're very passionate about our businesses. And the unfortunate part is we can end up spinning our wheels. And I just don't want that to happen to everybody else. We did it. We did everything that people were telling us to do. Get followers on social media. We were putting out content, as I say that in air quotes, right? And what does that even mean, right? We were just doing all these things and we were working really hard at it. I can tell you, this is a screenshot of our Facebook page a little while back at 19 or 17,000 likes, almost 18,000. Our Twitter at 17,000. Our Instagram at 25,000 followers. We worked really hard for these. And it wasn't all for nothing because we were able to build a brand out of it and build a bit of a community. But the biggest thing that I learned is we couldn't create predictable revenue. I was doing everything everyone's telling us as far as marketing, but we couldn't create predictable revenue. And so that kind of sent me back to the drawing board saying, okay, what's really working here? How do these platforms really work so we can utilize them the best we can? Excuse me. And how do we kind of create this predictable nature to, our with our marketing and advertising efforts, ultimately to sales, revenue, and profitability? And that's where kind of Inspire was born. We figured out how to maximize the effectiveness using especially paid media, paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, things like that, but also honing in our customer value journey and our foundation and really building ourselves a system that would work. And so that's what I want to dive in today is kind of these foundational systems and a few different pieces. So now today, Inspire Media, we're an agency, digital marketing agency. We run, paid Facebook ads, Google ads, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat, YouTube. We do some custom development and content creation for businesses to really create predictable revenue generating systems. And, we've spent millions of dollars online advertising, and we've analyzed an ungodly amount of data to kind of come up with what we have here and what we're sharing. So we are also a digital marketer certified partner. I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to anybody, but we're very proud to be one. This is one of the leading digital marketing training organizations in the world. And, a lot of companies like Uber or Shopify or larger companies use digital marketing ideology. So I also want to know some of the things we're going to be sharing today is with regards of the customer value journey are not all my brainchild, right? It was a combination of what we're learning, and we're sharing some digital marketer resources along with what we've learned ourselves. So without further ado, the three things that we're going to focus on, we're going to focus on three areas. Simply, number one is the customer value journey. This is that worksheet that I just sent over that kind of looks like a kid's menu, but I promise you it is an extremely valuable resource that we utilize a ton with our clients and in our own campaigns as well. It's extremely valuable, and we'll walk through every step of it so you have it. But at least you should have it in a PDF form. If that didn't work for you, let us know. We'll get it to you via email so you can print it off and utilize it. Number two, using data to drive results. This whole idea of data. We live in the world of data. But really, what does this mean? What does it mean? What is this data, and how can I use it as a small business owner to actually work for me? And we'll show you precisely how to do that in here. Lastly, how following up can change your business. It's probably the single most underutilized thing that I think small business owners do is follow up. Which we'll dive into, but 80% of sales are made in the follow-up, following up with those leads, but also following up with people that have engaged with you online. And we'll kind of go through the tool that you can use and some strategies to use to follow up with all those people that have visited your website and things like that, and show some examples. So first things first, I wanted to show this kind of screenshot here. This is no joke stuff. This is really stuff that really works. We're a results-oriented agency. What that means is we're not here just to get awareness for people. We're results-driven. If we can't get results for our client, which means return on their investment, then we actually will part ways with our clients until we only work with folks that we can actually bring revenue towards. So this is an example. I believe this is actually one of our nonprofit clients, which is interesting. But you can see here the amount spent. We can track these things like we talked about. We know which part's wasted and which part's not. We tracked $4,375 spent and a $61,000 return over 90 days. This was just over the 90 days. So this stuff that we're about to showcase, everything that we're talking about is used in our campaigns that we use today. And we have a lot of different case studies like this to be just to kind of show an example. So with that, let's get down to business here. Customer value journey, this first step. So lots of things have changed since John Wanamaker was around, right? A long time ago. Much has changed with the internet, with, there's so many things. But the good news is the most important thing hasn't changed, and that's humans. We are still doing business. So it doesn't matter if you are a B to C company or a B to B company. Everything that we're learning today is going to be B to H, or B to H to H, human to human. I also was notified by Kim early on when I created this deck that this is actually a TV show about where these people are not humans. So it's slightly ironic that this GIF is not really humans, but I decided to leave it in there anyways because we get the idea across, right? We're dealing with humans, and with humans, there is a certain there's certain behavioral patterns and sequences that we go through to create relationships. And I'm going to share this customer value journey is actually based on psychology, and it's human psychology. And I'm going to use this example here of Desmond Morris. Oops. Desmond Morris is a semi-famous psychologist who wrote the book called Intimate Behavior back in the 70s. And what Desmond Morris did is he did a study. And the study was to kind of find out how intimate relationships were built. And so as we're going to use this example kind of throughout this process and relate like normal intimate relationships with business relationships and how they parallel, because it still is human to human, like we talked about. So we are going to just imagine that we are kind of all single here, or if we know someone that's single, kind of what that process looks like to be dating again. But what Desmond Morris studied was this idea of intimate behavior. How does individuals, right, and forgive me here, where this is just a simple example, but go from not knowing each other all the way to making babies, right? This is what we do. We go from not even knowing each other to making babies in this time. And he studied that there's actually 12 stages. There's 12 stages that we go through. And the most interesting piece of his study was not how fast it is to go from stage one, right, not knowing each other, to, making babies. It was that you don't skip steps. That actually he figured out that if more than two of his steps were skipped, it was actually considered, I think it was battery, right? Because you're just jumping too far ahead in a normal, comfortable relationship. I know this is kind of an extreme example, but I really want to build this idea because this is the number one mistake I see people making, is we're not treating people like they're humans, especially online. So based on this same idea, we have the customer value journey. Most of the time in business, we're going to dive through each of these stages here, from awareness all the way through to engaging with your prospects, to converting them, making them excited, ascending them, growing them, upselling or more services, all the way till they're shouting your name from the rooftops, right? And the number one mistake that people make is they jump right to the conversion stage, which is the same thing as saying this kind of silly meme, right? On a first date, you'd never say something like this. This would freak somebody out and they'd run away. But you can see that the meme says, so for our first date, I was thinking we could figure out the names for our children, right? This is weird. This is just weird and maybe uncomfortable, right? But we do this all the time in business. When we post on social media, we say, hey, come look at us. Look what we have to offer. Come do business with us. And even if someone's never heard of us, the first thing we're saying is, hey, come buy our stuff. Come engage in our services, right? It's typically how we do it, and frankly, it's because we don't really know. But if you think about it on the other end, if you've never heard of this business before, or if you don't know who they are, why would you jump to that step, right? It just doesn't make sense in personal relationships or in business relationships. So we're going to kind of continue this example and get people away from this idea that they're just promoting themselves and we're just pushing out these promotions online. We're going to actually take a value-driven approach where we can give value to our consumers and take them through a sequential journey to become really, really great customers. Again, this sequential journey has been studied a lot. You'll notice this in a lot of different larger, fast-growing businesses, especially software companies that utilize things like this, the customer journey. So we're going to take this step by step in this deck. I also want to make a note. I have a PDF available of this deck to share with you at the end of this, which has a bunch of links in here on how to do things. We'll get in there, and so you can utilize it. If everyone's still with me, give me a little comment in there saying that you're still with me and you're following, to make sure that I'm talking. This is usually when we do this in person, I get some engagement and I don't feel like I'm just in a room by myself talking to myself. So I appreciate the love here. Still here, still with you, still here. Thanks. Okay, perfect. So imagine, again, human relationship, intimate relationship. First things first, they have to know you exist, right? Before you ask someone on a date, before you pop the big question, before anything, first things first, they have to know that you exist. Next, and the parallel example to that in business is this is where a prospect sees an ad. They find you in search. Maybe they Googled you, right? Or they heard about you from a referral. So this is the same thing, right? The businesses have to know you exist. This is the biggest problem with businesses not growing, is obscurity. People just simply don't know you exist. So that's step number one. Step number two is you have to introduce yourself. You can't just stand there from a distance and wave creepily like Chris Farley over here. You have to introduce yourself. What does that look like in business? This is where a prospect reads a blog post, they engage on social media, or they watch a video that you've created, right? They've taken a step. If they saw something you posted, it's a valued piece of content maybe, and we'll show some examples here in just a minute, but it's something of value for them, and they click on it. If they click on it, that's a next step, right? It's the next step forward. We do this all the time with content online that we're consuming. Now, the next step after you've introduced yourself, you got to get the phone number. Otherwise, you're going to make a romantic comedy where you're chasing, trying to find this person that you met sometime, but you never got their information, and you might never see them again, right? That's the same here. This is where the prospect opts in to receive something. This could be like a guide, a report, a quiz, a coupon, right? Or you give a coupon. Maybe it's a checklist or a cheat sheet, a different resource list. Maybe it's a web app that you've created, an ebook or a mini course, right? There's a ton of examples here. Again, you're going to get a copy of this deck. Don't worry about remembering every single one of these right now. But this idea is that we're trading someone their information. This is oftentimes called a lead magnet, right? Where we trade them for our information. We've all kind of given our email or something to gain something in return. That's so we can follow up with these customers, right? Because otherwise we may never see them again. We'll talk about a tool here in just a minute called the pixel, or tracking cookies, right? When you're shopping online and all of a sudden that thing follows you around the internet. Those tools are available to you as a small business as well, and I'll show you exactly how to get it set up later, and that's a way that you can follow up, right, or subscribe. Now that we have their information, right, we've introduced ourselves, we've got their phone number, we can say, hey, how about a cup of coffee, right? In the dating world, that's the easy, it's simple, it's not super overwhelming. It's an easy time to just get to know somebody a little bit more, right? It's something quick and simple, is a cup of coffee. It's definitely not, hey, will you marry me, right? Conversion, what most people make the mistake is that we're selling someone, we've converted them into like our biggest, best customer. But in reality, people, they convert in two ways. And you may even want to write this down if you have a piece of paper, but people convert in two ways. Number one, they convert with their wallet. So a small purchase, right? Or with their calendars. They convert with their calendars, with their time, right? This could be a free consultation or something of value where they're taking their time to come in and spend it with you. So conversion in business is they make a small purchase or schedule a demo or time with you, right? Now, that is that time where you can get them extremely, extremely excited, right? This is when if you get to know each other over that cup of coffee, that's where you can figure out if this is going to be a good fit, if this is going to be a thing that we can keep going. That's the same thing in business. This is where someone gets actual value from that initial transaction, right? And the actual value, that means they feel excited. They're like, wow, that was a great experience. And then that's our time, right, to take it to the next level. Now you can feel confident offering your highest ticket offer, whatever that may be, is after you've given them value, the customer feels excited. Now, bear with me here. I know we're talking theory, but we're going to get down to brass tacks in just a minute with some solid examples. But this is where we offer our core offer and upsells, right? And then, once we're married, they always say once you're married, you can't stop dating, right? You have to continue to be a great partner, a great person so that you can stay together, right? That's what this kind of funny meme is trying to showcase. Keep calm, I have the best husband ever, right? We have to keep doing a great job. This is now where we keep doing a great job and we can ask for a review. Maybe it's a testimonial, maybe it's a case study from these customers, right? So they can become advocates of ours. And ultimately, this analogy breaks down depending, on your situation, right? Obviously, you're probably not going to go for round 2 and 3 on the wife situation, but in business, it does work because this is where they're shouting your name from rooftops. We're saying, hey, this was so awesome. I want to tell my colleagues and my friends about you. So I'm going to run through this really quickly. I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give a simple example of a dentist, right? I'm a dentist. I put an ad out there. And this ad says, I'm going to do teeth. We've seen these teeth cleanings for super cheap, like $19.99 teeth cleaning, right? We've seen ads like this before. And then I click on that ad, right? I engage with it. I click on it and I'm like, oh, interesting. And on that page, it shows me, I'm going to get my teeth cleaning. I'm going to get these x-rays. I'm going to get all this value for $19.99. Normally, right, that probably costs a couple $100. The dentist time is expensive and all of that, but this is a great deal. So I enter my name, email, phone number, right? And I opt in to gain access to this discount or this coupon essentially. Now, I show up to make this small purchase, right? We know lots of times at dentists we used to spend a lot of money at the dentist over time. Hopefully we don't, but typically something happens along the ways, whether we get teeth knocked out or we have cavities or whatnot. But now this is where someone shows up. They show up to the dentist, a small purchase. They didn't spend very much, but guess what? They're in the chair, and this dentist is the bomb. They give let's just say it's a mom and she has her kids with her, and the staff just does a great job with the kids. They give them a great experience. They have a nice, clean office and a friendly staff, and everyone gets excited. They get actual value from that transaction. We get their their X-rays back. Their teeth are cleaned. They're getting that really gross flavored fluoride in their mouth. But overall, they've had a really great experience. Well, guess what? Now that they've had this great experience and the doctor has, done an analysis of their situation, maybe they need some fillings, maybe there's something else that can be valuable, or maybe the mom goes, hey, guess what? The whole family, we're new to town and we need a dentist anyway, so I'm going to sign the kids up, right? Or I'm going to sign my husband up, and we ascend them. This is now the doctor knows that this is where the value is. The value is here after we built this relationship. And they continue to do a great job, and they leave reviews for them on Google, right? Saying, hey, this place was great. And then they go tell their friends at school, maybe when they're dropping their kids off at school, saying, hey, we just found this new dentist. They're killer, right? And they're promoting you. So that is a great example. I'll use one more example here, and then I'm going to showcase a few visual examples for you via the internet. But I'm gonna do, this is my favorite customer value journey I've actually experienced myself. And I was in Belize, traveling with my fiance Lindsay, and Lindsay and I went to Belize, and we were looking to go kayaking and paddleboarding, maybe do some snorkeling and things like that. And someone told us, right, we were referred and said, hey, there's this place a little bit outside of town, but they have free paddleboards and kayaks, and I think they even might have snorkel gear, right? It's totally free. And so we went over and we took a look at what they had going on. We went up to the bar and said, hey, heard you guys had some stuff. They said, yeah, of course. This is how it works. We got there. They gave us, I think we gave them some information so that, obviously we didn't steal the kayaks and stuff, which was kind of our subscribe here and our value. And we took out the kayaks, and they kind of converted us, right? And with this small demo, it was free, totally a free thing. They could have promoted this idea on social media to travelers in the area. They could have promoted this thing however they wanted, but what they were focusing on was the value journey. Guess what? If we can just get people here, because that's the most expensive part of business, is to get someone in the front door, right? We all know that as business owners, to get someone in the front door, we know once we can talk to them or show them what we can do or give them a good experience, we know we have them. I know so many small business owners, including myself, that says this all the time. If once we can talk to somebody, we're good. We can show them our value. So this offer, we paddleboarded. We had a great time. Of course, we came up and we bought lunch afterwards because we were hungry. We were feeling super excited. We got tons of actual value from this conversation. And the bartender was obviously trained and said, hey, what are you guys doing? What are you looking to do? And we said, well, we're going to be scuba diving. We're doing some other things. And he said, well, actually, we have a dive shop as well. And a dive school connected to this where we can actually take you on dives. We're doing dives tomorrow. And we also have a fishing boat. And we said, this is perfect. So we went in there for free paddle boards, and talk about ascension. We went out, I think we spent $800 between food, beers, and scuba diving because they had offered those paddle boards, and they knew exactly what they were doing, because then they gave us a great experience with lunch, and they were able to sell us. And in the morning when we got to the boat to go diving, almost everybody sitting in that bar was either on the fishing boat or on the dive boat with us. So, of course, we advocated them because they gave us a great experience, and we left reviews. And, we tell people all the time, hey, if you're going to Belize, you got to check out this place. So I hope this can kind of give you a picture of what a value journey looks like, right? Instead of just saying, hey, here we are, this is what we do. There's more to it than that. So you'll see in this deck, again, I'm going to share it with you. This is what the value journey looks like filled out. And we're going to talk about the biggest challenges I think business owners have as far as their customer value journey. We're going to really focus on number one, engagement and conversion. So most people have a problem figuring out, well, what can I do to engage people? What can I do to take people beyond just, just looking at what I have to offer and actually engage them? Because a great engaging piece of content and a great offer can change the game and really help you grow your business. I'm going to use a few examples here. Again, you should have a blank version of this that I shared in the chat. And Mary, if you don't see it in the chat, you can let me know. I sent it up. It's up there a little bit. It's called the Value Journey Worksheet, and you can print it off. And you can actually, this is where you want to fill out, what your engagement piece is and what your conversion piece is. So I want to kind of hone this point in here. And this is from Spencer Spinell, who was at one time the director of emerging platforms at Google. And he said 97% of purchasing decisions are starting on the internet, right? And I think that's an easy statistic to believe, considering that I think we can all agree we all research things on the internet before we actually purchase something, right? And so the idea here is, why, as business owners, why wouldn't we help these consumers with their research? We're doing it anyways. We're providing them information, especially when they come talk to us if we're service providers or about our products. We're constantly educating our consumers. Why wouldn't we put that online to give them that information that they actually want and need? Right? They're Googling this like crazy. What are people Googling about your business? What's your frequently asked questions? What do you wish that people knew coming into you? What value can you provide to them? The message here today is, this is what should be posted on social media. This is what you should use Facebook for. This is what you should use Instagram for, even LinkedIn and your other platforms. This is going to help your search engine optimization rankings when you provide valuable information and content. So in a minute, in just a couple minutes, actually, we're going to take a break, and I want you to kind of start thinking about what are those things, because we're going to take a break, and I'm going to show you an example before we take the break. But just so your wheels can be spinning, I want you to think of 2 ideas for content that can engage your prospects. Again, we're thinking about frequently asked questions. What are people always asking you about? What's the number one things that are people curious about? Go ahead and jump on Google, a search engine. If you type in something that you know your customers might be interested in, you'll see the suggestions that are going to be made. You know, we have all seen this on Google when we search something that you might, here's what other people asked as well. Check out industry leaders, right? If there's a big version of the company that you run, you'll notice that a lot of these companies will create resources or content for their clients. Use those as ideas. And another one that Kim reminded me and gave me the idea to add here a while back is this number 4 is, what do you wish your customers would ask you more? Right? What do you wish, right? What's that information that you're trying to get out there saying, hey, I wish you would ask me about this, right? I wish people would tell me about how the Facebook algorithm actually worked, right? How does it work, right? And we've created pieces of content on that before. So the second thing that we're going to do is 2 ideas for an offer to convert your prospects. So we call this an entry point offer. The first thing we're talking about, like that free teeth cleaning, or that free paddleboard, right? This is going to be this is going to be that easy next step that allows you, when they have that offer, to excite your customer. This could be a free trial or a demo or a free consultation. And you know that if they take you up on this, it's going to give you an opportunity to get the customer excited, and allows you now to move seamlessly from your engagement to your offer to your upsell, right? Just like the dentist or this bar did in Belize, that it was a seamless offer, right? It allows us to move through this customer value journey. And it was a low barrier to entry, right? Because as we know, it's the hardest thing to do is to get people in the door. This is why gyms give free trials for 2 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks, because they know the hardest part is to get someone in the door. So a low barrier to entry. Few examples here that we do with clients, and feel free to steal these ideas. One of our very successful lead generation campaigns was for a jewelry store. If they can get people in with the engagement ring early in their jewelry buying careers, we know you can get them with Christmases, the birthdays, the Valentine's days for years and years to come. So if they can get them in the door early and give them a great experience, we know, guess what? We can grow them as a customer. So this particular jewelry store, said, hey, we're looking for more bridal customers, especially, younger people and millennials. So I'm in this boat here. I got engaged this year, and I'll tell you what, an investment like a diamond ring is scary. It's kind of freaky. There's a lot of pieces to a ring. Why the heck are they so expensive? And what do I need to know about this investment really that I'm making? And you'll notice a lot of big online jewelry retailers will have good information, but local businesses are kind of behind the curve a little bit. So what we did is we updated their resources, and we created this. This is an ad you can see on Facebook here. It was actually a piece of content, a blog post essentially, that we turned into an ad. But it says 7 things you need to consider before you buy an engagement ring, right? I click on this. If I click on this, what am I probably in the market for? I'm probably in the market for an engagement ring. You guys are all on mute, so I'm going to answer the question for you. I apologize. Uh, I'm in the market for an engagement ring, right? And guess what? When I click on this, it is going to give me really good information about cut, clarity. I've already forgot all my 4 C's, but it's going to talk to me about insurance and finding someone who is reputable. And when I click on it, I'm going to see that jeweler's website, and I'm going to build this sort of affinity and trust with them because they're helping me do my research. And guess what? At the bottom of that page, there's an offer. There's an opportunity to take action, to upsell them. And that is, you can see it here. If you're interested in talking with a jeweler, just fill out our quick contact form and receive a $250 gift card towards the purchase of your engagement ring. Now, again, we talked about that idea of when you're shopping online and all of a sudden that things follows you around the internet. This is what we did. We created this ad, this article, and we sent it out to everybody in the area around this place that was in a relationship, right? Because we've told Facebook that we're in a relationship, and we targeted at them. They click on it. When they click on that, the next thing they see in their feed, whether they're on Instagram or Facebook, again, if you're unfamiliar, Facebook owns Instagram, and so that way the ad platform works is that they work together. And we'll dive into the ad platform in just a minute. But the idea here is that we're controlling the customer journey, right? We're saying, first, we're going to give you some value and provide you some good information, and then we're going to give you an irresistible offer. And when you hit that button, you're going to give us your name, email, phone number. That goes straight to the sales team. Sales team follows up and said, hey, I heard you want to meet with our gemologist. Let's see if we can get you on the schedule here. When's a good time for you, right? We can kind of, I hope that, I can't see everyone's faces, but I hope we are able to get this idea in place. So first, here's this is our engagement, and now here is our offer, right? Another one here, this is another dental kind of client that we worked with, and this is for a larger ticket sale. So anybody that is I learned more about dental procedures than I probably ever thought I would working with this client, a periodontist, but there's this really cool new procedure called the all-on-4, which is really a cheaper way to do full reconstructive surgery for your mouth and get all new teeth. And because this isn't usually covered by insurance, they kind of have a sort of a sales process to let people know about it and inform them about these different opportunities. So we wrote an article that said, here's the best way to restore the look of your smile permanently. And then the headline that says, this breakthrough dental procedure helps replace missing teeth permanently. Guess what? They click, and it's a great article about how this procedure works, how it's very safe compared to other procedures. It's actually more affordable than a lot of procedures, and explains these things. And then it says the next step, right? The call to action, the offer. The next step is to schedule a smile design consultation. There's our offer, a smile design consultation at our office here in Boise. This smile design consultation is for people who are serious about restoring their smile and regaining their confidence. This smile design costs $150, which is very affordable for how much periodontists charge hourly. And and if you decide to move forward, we'll gladly just apply that to the procedure for you so you don't lose anything, right? Go ahead and sign up, subscribe, right? We're getting people to subscribe, we're getting their name and their email address, and that takes them to the next step in the process, right? And the administration team can follow up with these folks and say, hey, let's get you scheduled. Another couple examples of content here for more of a product-based business is this is a local, really cool water company. If you haven't heard of Proud Source Water, it's a really kind of high-end cool water out of Mackay, Idaho. But they are higher-end water, so they really need to educate people on why this water is different and better. So it's a high alkaline water, and it says 5 health benefits of naturally alkaline water, right? So if you are someone who is concerned with that sort of thing, and you're a water person or you're a health person and you're interested, you're going to go ahead and click on that, right? And I think our next follow-up offer was a huge discount code. So the next thing that you saw was a discount code. Here's another idea for a quiz. We have a local apparel company. You may know them, Banana Inc. but we created a quiz for them. It says, so you think you know Idaho? Test your knowledge with this 10-question Idaho quiz. Right on social media, people love quizzes. Those who finish the quiz have a holiday surprise waiting for them at the end. Good luck. So this was during the holiday season. And guess what? You click on it and you take the quiz, and at the end you get a coupon code. And we get your information, and we get to follow up with you, right? So I'm gonna take a pause here for just a couple minutes, and I would like everyone to, if you have a pen and piece of paper, to write down 2 ideas for content to engage your prospects and 2 ideas for an offer to convert your prospects. And then what I would like to do is in the chat here, if usually when we do this in live in person, I kind of go around and I talk to everybody and either help them with ideas or walk through them. If anyone has a business that or an idea that maybe they either need some help or they would like to kind of go over their idea to see how it works, let me know in the chat here, and I can unmute you and we kind of actually talk through this. So forgive the pause here, but I hope you do use this time to like really think through this. Let's see here. We got 6:46 p.m. I'm going to give us 4 minutes here to start, and anybody that needs to also get a drink of water or something. And then we're going to get into the back half, which is we're going to talk about data, and we're going to talk about how the algorithm actually works and all of those things. But this foundationally is extremely, extremely important for you. So Valerie, you have to go. It was nice to see you. We will get you a recording, I believe, of this. Kim is recording this, and we will also give you the deck if you want it. So appreciate you staying on here. We're about to get into the really good stuff with the algorithm here soon. So if anybody else is sticking around, that'd be great. So 4 minutes, go ahead and dive in. If you have any thoughts or things you want, let me know in the chat. I'm going to mute myself here for just a minute, give some folks some peace and quiet. And if you have questions, I'm watching this chat here, so let us know, and we can also, I can share my screen and we can, go over some ideas for your business. Also, I'll take this time a little bit while you're still working, so please keep working and writing down and brainstorming your ideas. I want to share a little bit about why I think this particular section is going to be so important during everything that's going on. So as we mentioned, we run a lot of advertising for a lot of different businesses, and what we are noticing in the marketplace right now is that basically people are doing a lot of window shopping. A lot of people are home right now. They are doing research. They're not buying as much right now. We have to understand that. We're seeing basically, we measure things like click-through rate, so how often people are clicking on ads. And then we also measure conversion rate. So after they click, what do they do next? Do they buy? Do they take those next steps? And what we're noticing is conversion rates are decent depending on the business. If it's an e-commerce company, they're higher still, but they're doing a lot of window shopping. This is the perfect opportunity for us as small business owners to be building, to be creating, to be focused on providing as much value for our customers as possible. We should be in that mindset of this value first model of saying, okay, what do our customers need and how can we deliver that to them in the form of something engaging, right? Something that's going to be valuable for them. So I think during this time and however long it lasts, if you can spend it on getting this content piece developed where you can maybe come up with a few different things, your 7 things that you need to know before you buy an engagement ring, or your educational pieces, and start sharing those online. These pieces of content, we call them anchor content, because they can be used for a long time. That one piece of art content, the 7 things you need to know before you purchase an engagement ring, we actually use that for almost 9 months. 9 months, that one piece of article just kept going and going and going because it was extremely valuable. We didn't have to be writing blog posts every week or multiple times a month. We really just focused on what do our consumers really want from us, and how can we help them? What value can we give them? So we focus on these main pieces and we make it really, really good, really valuable, something that this person should walk away and go, oh man, that was helpful. This was helpful. This is how you win on social media today, right? Nobody, unfortunately, they don't want to see a picture of the office dog anymore. Most people don't want to follow most types of businesses on social media. They're not interested in that in their feed. But what they do care about is they care about value. And we're going to dive into the algorithm here and why it actually helps you win more with the algorithm when you provide content like this. So with the state of everything that's going on, if anybody does have questions there, we are going to be opening that up in a little while to questions. We can unmute everybody and dive in. So it's been a few minutes. Hopefully you have a few engagement pieces of content and some conversion ideas here based on those. But those 2 pieces right there, if you can dial in those 2 pieces, you will be amazed at how much people take action and how many more leads you will get, how many more sales you will get by focusing on that idea of value first and creating content. So now we're going to dive in to, if everyone's good to go, just say good to go here in the chat. Let me know you're good to go. Ready. Keith, ready to go. Carolyn, good to go. Who else we got with us here? All right. Not sure I have anything to contribute here. Kim, I'm good. Okay, beautiful. That's okay if if we're just learning right now, but I want to be a resource. I'll pass out my information as well at the end, so you can have more time once you're thinking about this sort of stuff, so I can be helpful to anybody. With that, again, here's our customer value journey. It's sequential, right? These things are sequential. This is why some of the fastest growing companies in the world, this is why Netflix, right? One of the fastest growing companies in the world has free trial for 14 days, right? Why that works so well? Because we can actually try before we buy. And we all have something like that in our business that we can utilize. Let's get down to the data. This is the creepy stuff. This is that stuff that everyone's talking about what's going on. And I just want to kind of disclaimer here and say, I'm not kind of for or against some of the privacy policies, the things that are going on. I have my own opinions, but the number one thing that I do stand for is that as marketers and business owners, we have a job to provide value to our prospects, consumers, and the public. If we are not leading with our best foot forward in terms of value, in terms of ethics, then we have no business doing business. We really should be leading with our best foot forward. So the stuff that we're going to show you today can be utilized. I joke sometimes the force can be used for good or for evil. And that's very, very true. There's documentaries on Netflix right now about companies like Cambridge Analytica, right? if you've seen those. If you haven't seen it, type in Cambridge Analytica and it'll come up on Netflix. But they kind of talk about how people win elections using things like this and this data and how private is our information. So I don't want to really get into too much of that. I just want to say, as marketers, as business owners, it's really about the ethics that we're using. If we're using this for good, there is enough privacy here with these data that I can't say, I can't market to Keith specifically on Facebook. I can market to 100 people who have similar behavioral patterns than Keith, but I wouldn't know that it's you, Keith. So we're not that specific into people's information, but it is pretty crazy. Everything that we're going to talk about here is going to be on, if you are using Facebook, and maybe some of you have used the Business Manager before, but when we're utilizing Facebook for our business, we want to actually be utilizing it through business.facebook.com. If you haven't set up your Business Manager, you can go to business.facebook.com and set up your Business Manager. But this is the main hub. This is your login port that you're going to utilize to create your ads that you should really be using to manage your Facebook is through Business Manager, not just through the normal Facebook. There's way more tools, way more information on the back end here, and we're going to be talking about a few of these. So this is kind of creepy, but it's the truth. When you're using Facebook and Instagram and a lot of other platforms, we're going to stick to Facebook and Instagram for our sake of example. They're taking into account 2,000 data points about you. Think about that, 2,000 data points. And most of us think this is just when we're using the platform. And people are like, I don't use Facebook. And it's like, well, do you have an account? If you have Facebook an account, that means you have a little user ID. And that user ID, it's usually 10 digits long, is connected to your email address and your phone number. Because if you remember, all these apps recently ask you to connect your phone number. So they have 2 points of data connecting to your user ID. And guess what? As you use the internet at large, not just your Facebook account or your Instagram account, they are tracking your behavior. They're looking at what kind of sites you're looking at, what kind of content you're reading. Are you a tire kicker, or do you pull triggers, right? Are you shopping? Are you shopping with a MasterCard and Amex? Is your wife shopping with a MasterCard or Amex? Is your kids shopping with your information? They're taking into account all of these behaviors. Do you like long form video or short form video? And they're creating kind of these customer archetypal buckets to say, this is what type of behavioral patterns this person has. And that's what the algorithm does. This is why these are multi-billion-dollar companies, is their ability to not only, take this data, but aggregate it and then sell it to people like us, or really let us use it so that we can advertise and create more quality advertisements. That is the amount of data points. So, we work with big ad agencies, with people that have been in the business a long time, these creative directors, and they spend thousands of dollars debating on exactly who this person is and what their behavioral patterns are and all these things. These algorithms beat it every single time. It's incredible. And so what we really want to do is we want to learn to harness the power of these data points and then basically give Facebook the right stuff, like a piece of content that says 7 things you need to know. And then we want to say, hey, Facebook, go find the people based on the behavioral patterns to utilize this. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that here. So I joke sometimes, there's a couple ways to target people. I made a joke one time that I could target soccer moms who shopped online, who also like German Shepherds and shopped at Whole Foods. And I actually found out there's 99,000 of them in the United States. So this is inside of Facebook Ads Manager here. Maybe you've seen this before, but this is called interest-based targeting. I can see people have engaged shoppers. This means they've shopped online in the last 7 days. Additionally, just soccer moms, right? German Shepherds, you can see the interest, the third interest, and then Whole Foods Market, just for fun. And I believe this was based on a $20 budget. It says right below my potential reach of 99,000 people that I can reach 2,600 to 7,100 people per day, and I can get 34 to 130 link clicks per day. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty targeted, right? This is just one way of targeting, and I want to make a note right here when it says estimated daily results. See this kind of crazy range here? Link clicks, 34. If I spent $20 and I got 34 link clicks, or I spent $20 and got 130 link clicks. That's a big difference. It's a big, big difference. How do you get towards this 130 side or that 7,100 side? This is where I'm going to kind of inform about the algorithm. If you think about Facebook, how they stay in business is by providing relevant content to the users, right? Relevant content. We don't want to see ads in our feed necessarily, or things that are not relevant to us. We scroll right through it. So Facebook's first and foremost goal is we need to provide relevant content to our users. Secondly, our ads want to be relevant to our users, so we're not frustrating people. We want them to see things that they actually want to see. Now, would you want to see something in your feed that says, hey, look at me, want to do business with me? Or would you want to see a piece of content that comes through that is valuable, that's going to help you solve your problems, right? The answer is, I'll tell you every time, if we did just a promotional ad that says, hey, look at our jewelry company. We've been in business for 50 years and you know, we do such amazing stuff for you. I've put that ad out, and then I put the 7 things you should know before you purchase an engagement ring side by side. And guess which one kicks the butt every time? 7 things you need to know, because it's valuable. And guess what? Also, Facebook, instead of showing it to 2,600 people, shows it to way, way more people, right? Because I'm fighting for real estate. Inside of our phones here, right? In our feeds, that's real estate. That's hot real estate. That's what advertising is. And that's how it's been priced for a long time, is the hotter the real estate, the more expensive it is. That's why a Super Bowl ad costs, you know, $5 million for a 15-second spot. That Facebook newsfeed is hot real estate. And the more valuable our content is, basically Facebook rewards us and says, hey, this is valuable to the users based on how much they're clicking on it, how much they're engaging with us. We're going to give you really good pricing, right? We're going to give you great pricing and let you reach more people and ultimately get more clicks because you're providing more value. So just really building on this point that when we get into using these paid tools, it's going to be extremely, extremely helpful. I also would like to note that organically on your Facebook page, if you've maybe noticed this, or on Instagram, the average reach is 1 to 5%. 1 to 5%. So if you got 100 people that like your page, maybe 5. Sometimes they'll throw you a bone and 15 people will see it. And they're doing it now because it's pay to play, right? They want you to pay to play. That feed is hot real estate. And if you want to be in there as a business, they know that they're going to want you to pay. The cool thing is you can pay as little as $1 a day, even $1 a day, $2 a day. We have clients that succeed a bunch on just a couple dollars a day. And even as small businesses, sometimes we can afford taking stuff out of different marketing efforts that we're doing. We can focus that money on a little bit of ad spend to get our article in front of people or get our new offer in front of people. Here's another kind of interesting targeting thing. This was a little while back, but it's people who have recently moved to Boise. This is a market that a lot of people are interested in our classes. So I thought I'd just share it. Recently moved to Boise. We're looking at 2,700 people recently moved, and on a $10 a day budget, right? Just $10, we can reach 440 to 1,200 of those people with 5 to 31 clicks. That is, you know, even though it's pay to play, that's very, very affordable and very worth it, especially if we can target exactly who we are looking for. Now, I want to talk a little bit about custom audiences. And because I'm sharing my screen here, I'm actually going to dive in. I don't want to pull up Ads Manager itself. I'm going to do this kind of live, a little live tutorial. Is everyone cool with that? Awesome. Appreciate the thumbs up, Keith. Thank you. Give me someone to work with here. So I'm inside of Facebook Ads Manager. You can see my business.facebook.com. This is where we can create all of these different advertisements. And in this, I can go to this little section that says audiences. Again, these links are in the deck and you can click in, and I even have they have some, how-to tutorials on how to kind of set some of this stuff up in each piece. But we're going to go ahead and create a new audience. And we were just talking about custom audiences. And as this takes just a second to pull up, if it will, I hope it will. Of course, if we're live, there we go. So this is the crazy thing. This is a really interesting. We can create all sorts of different audiences. Number one, website. If you look over to the right here, I'm hovering over website, but on the right it says website. Create an audience of your website visitors. Use data captured by the Facebook Pixel. I'll show you the Facebook Pixel in just a minute to reach people who took specific actions such as adding to cart, right? Our e-commerce clients that we work with, guess what? If you went to their website and you added something to your cart, but you did not purchase it, the next thing you see in your feed is a free shipping code saying, hey, come back and buy from us. These are not as complicated as we think they are to set up, but they work significantly. It's the number one thing that we see that works is targeting people who've already visited our website, right? Because if we look at our customer value journey, if they visited our website, that means that they've engaged with us. They've taken that next step down the journey. They're probably pretty valuable, right? So we can look at our website, we can say, hey, if you've been to this page, I want to market to you. Customer lists. I'm going to show an example of what we've done with customer lists in the past, but if you do have a current customer list, this means if you have their email address or their phone numbers, you can upload, or an email list maybe, you can upload this list to Facebook and market directly to these people. We'll talk about lookalike audiences in a second, but we can also utilize this data for more. If you're running an app, you can connect Facebook to your app and market based on that. Videos. This is a common one we do is you can, if you, maybe you're creating video content, right? And you put this out there, you can market to people who have watched certain videos, right? People who have viewed at least 3 seconds of your video, people who have viewed 10 seconds, people who have viewed 25%, 50%, or 95%. If you put out an 8-minute video and someone watches it to 95%, they're probably pretty interested, right? So we can create audiences based on people like that. Instagram business profile. We can create audiences based on people who have engaged with your Instagram in the last up to 365 days for up to a year, right? Again, these are great people to market to because they've already engaged with you, right? They've already engaged with you. Same thing with Facebook. People that have engaged with your Facebook page in a certain amount of days, right? We want to market to those people. That's a great audience to market to. And other events, maybe you've done a Facebook event in the past. You can market to people who have engaged with certain events that you've had. So these are all different ways that you can create audiences and market directly to those people, which is quite incredible, actually. And what you'll notice in this deck that will be shared with you at the bottom here, we have links to be able to learn more about custom audiences. Now, I want to show this. It's called a lookalike audience. This is probably the most powerful thing to ever happen to the internet, I would say. It's pretty insane. But a lookalike audience is exactly what it sounds like. It's people who look like someone else. So if you have a customer list, you need usually a minimum of 100 customers for this. But if you have a customer list, you can upload your customer list. And you can say, hey, Facebook, go find me 1 million more people that look just like this. Remember those 2,000 behavioral patterns and tendencies? Go find me some more people who look like this. Or maybe it's just website visitors. Maybe I don't have enough customers, but maybe I want to go find more people that are like the people that are visiting my website. Hey, Facebook, go find me more people that look like this. This is called a lookalike audience, and it's extremely, extremely powerful. So if you have any sort of data from your customers, you could be people that look like people that have visited your Instagram profile. Again, there should be a little link down here. Is there? Yep. On how to create lookalike audiences for you. I want to show an example here of a customer that we had. Again, the simplicity of this campaign was insane. This was actually a nonprofit client, and they had some good data. They had some good website visitors. They also had a decent donor list. And we just said, hey, can you get us your donor list, right? We just need the emails and the phone numbers and how much they've donated. And we put it in an Excel spreadsheet, right? And we put the donors that have donated the most at the top and made it go down. And we uploaded that list to Facebook. And we said, hey, Facebook, this is a national client, so they could market to the entire United States. And we said, hey, Facebook, we want to go find you. We want you to go find us 1 million more people with these same behavioral tendencies. And in 6 months, you can see here, $12,000 spent on ads and $140,000 return. Predictable returns, right? This was predictable. We were watching it happen month after month after month. And it just continued to go and go and go, literally because we just gave Facebook the right tools. And of course, we crafted great value-driven content, and we did some of those things under the hood. But ultimately, there was nothing fancy about this campaign. And this is something that we can all do. Not all our results are necessarily going to look like this. This is you can't put lipstick on a pig, or you can, I guess, but it's still a pig. And so your product or service or your offer that you're offering is extremely important for this to be successful like this. But if it is really great, it is going to work. It is going to succeed. So it's not that crazy. You have all the information. Literally, if you follow those links that I sent you, you can look how to set up these things. If you focus on creating that value-driven content, even for a couple dollars a day, we can get this in front of people and start building our list. Even this time when things are slower for our businesses, we can start building value, building trust with consumers. And when buying behaviors do change and they pick up, which they will, we just don't know when, you are going to have given so much value to these folks. You're going to have a good list of people that are ripe for the picking. So the question that I want you to ask yourself is, what data do you have available? Do you have website visitors? Do you have people maybe that have engaged with your Facebook page, your Instagram page? Do you have an email list? Do you have customers? What data do you have available? And you definitely want to utilize this data. All right. Now, I think a lot of business owners, we fail at this quite often, and that is following up. We fail at follow-up. And if we know, there's a stat, and I need to get the where I got this stat from, but I will believe it based on both of my businesses, is that 80% of sales are made in the follow-up. Most time we think people don't want to do business with us because they have maybe visited our website and they didn't come back. I can tell you for a fact with data that's wrong, because we make a ton of money on retargeting, which is those free shipping ads, right? Those sorts of things that once you visit the website, add to your cart, and then you left, and then you're getting free shipping, or you checked out our website about our 7 things you need to know about an engagement ring, and now you see an offer for a $250 gift card. That's following up, and we make a lot of money from that follow-up, and we can measure that. So they say on average, it takes 7 to 12 follow-ups. So think about your sales cycle, think about your business, whether it be B2B, B2C, and I want to think about, how many really follow-ups and touches does it take? We want to be controlling those touches. We want to continually be moving people down that customer value journey. It typically takes 7 to 12 follow-ups. This is a B2B stat, actually, but it says when a prospect sees a retargeting ad, they are 70% chance that they'll purchase your product over your competitors. And this is why I think about normal behavior patterns when we're purchasing things online. We're looking around, we're checking things out, right? And we're checking out the different options. And the one that we kind of trust, the one we ultimately go with is the one we feel the most affinity towards, right? For the most time. So if you check out the website, the next thing you keep seeing is maybe more valuable content or opportunities to take action with that company that you were just looking at, you're way more likely to take that action and to do business with them. So this is called retargeting, and it is an extremely valuable thing. It's also extremely affordable. You can, if you have website traffic, you can retarget for $1 a day, a couple of dollars a day. But I would like to kind of give you an idea here. If the average website conversion rate is less than 1%, which means that if 100 people come to your website, less than 1% of them will take the next desired action. If that's becoming a lead, contacting you, if that is making a purchase, if you're an e-commerce website, right? If that is contacting you, less than 1%, right? That means you had 99 people that came up to your door, checked you out, and left. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people left over. It's not because those people didn't want to do business with you. It's because we live in 2020, man. Life is crazy. We have ADHD like nobody's business. We see over 5,000 advertisements a day. We are going from one thing to the next. And we have to give people a reason we have to follow up with them. We have to show, we need to continue that process, that customer value journey. We already made a huge step if they came to our website. Huge step. Engagement. Right? If you look at customer value journey, engagement is a huge step forward. The likelihood of them doing business with us after they visit our website is much, much, much higher. And how do we do this? We set up what's called your Facebook pixel. There's literally a link here that says how to set up your Facebook pixel on your website. But what your Facebook pixel is, it is a little tracking device that it's a cookie essentially that will track the user's behavior on your website for up to 180 days. Again, I can't say, Carolyn, this is going to, I can't follow up with you directly, but in general, we can follow up with people. I recommend, if you have a website if you have a website, you have to have a website to be able to do this, that you set up your pixel. Even if you don't plan on doing any ads or anything, do it now because it's collecting all of that data. And eventually, when the time is right, you can utilize that data. And this tool is extremely, extremely powerful. This is going to, every person that comes to your site, it's going to analyze their behavior, and we can start doing things like creating lookalike audiences with them. So I would definitely set this up whenever you have the chance. This is going to give you your best foot forward when you're using Facebook. I have to jump off, but looking forward to watching the recording tomorrow and catching up with you after this class. All right, we will see you later. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll make sure this deck gets to you. We're rounding up. We're rounding third here. We're almost home. So this was a really great campaign here for a local gym client, right? We oftentimes don't know why people are not taking action with us. We're like, man, I wonder what it is. Well, why don't we just ask them? Why don't we say, what questions do you have, right? So we created this ad that we had a free trial offer, and if someone didn't take them up on it, we said, it looks like you might be interested in trying Jack City for free, but you didn't pull the trigger. We want to answer any questions that you might have about your offer or our gym so we can serve you the best we can. Here's the button, send message. This starts a chat with the business on Facebook, and they can, go through the objections or answer the questions right there to move people along in the journey. Right? Again, we're always trying to move people down the journey. If we don't know why they're stuck, we can ask them by saying, hey, why don't you message us? Another great retargeting ad. Shameless plug here, Vivid Roots. This is a kind of a larger sale that we're making, something, that's kind of a big thing, and where there's a lot of education involved. So we have this article or this video where we spent time in a village that we were trying to bring water to, and they took us to kind of show us what their experience was like to walk for water every single day. And so we did that with them to kind of experience it, and we shared it to kind of share what this was about. And it says, women and children around the globe walk on average 3.5 miles per day just to collect water. By providing clean water, we are giving time back to people that can be spent going to school, starting a business, et cetera, et cetera. And we showed this to the people that visited our website or maybe engaged with us on Instagram, right? Again, taking that next step. This was a huge hit. You can see there's thousands of views. We're able to build a lot of value within our consumers, educate them more, and kind of bring them down the customer journey. So that was a very successful thing. It's great to use videos if you have them available to you. Here's another great one. Rushmore Tramway Adventures. They have amazing zipline tours out by Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. And, a lot of people will do their research. They're checking them out before, and lots of people go, oh, we'll wait to book. Well, guess what? If you wait to book, it might be filled up when you get there. So the next thing that you see in the feed is hurry, book your zipline tour online right now. We do only 8 tours each day, and they fill up fast. Again, using retargeting. So we knew they were looking at the website, and we showcased, hey, jump on this. And we can showcase this, and the return on investment is extremely, extremely high because they're taking action. And we know there's a lot of attractions around here, Mount Rushmore. And so they have a lot of options that they have to decide to do with their family while they're there. We want to make sure they get committed right away, so they come to our park instead. And that's how, we're following up. I want to share another case study. One client that we had that was, again, making a big mistake by not following up, especially if you have higher ticket sale items, right? What you're doing is, or the lifetime value of your customer is worth quite a bit. If you're not following up, you could be in trouble. This is a client that had website traffic, so they had people come to their website, but they were letting them go. They weren't doing the follow-up. And right away, we said the first people we need to follow up with are these people that are visiting your website. And they got a 64x return in the first month. You can see here, just by following up. That's all they did. They just said, hey, we want to follow up with these people. This is our lowest hanging fruit, right? They've already engaged with us. They've taken that step, and we're following up. So the question, again, ending this third piece with a question is, what is the cost of not following up costing you, right? If we think about those numbers, what's it costing you? The big message here, I think, is this idea. I hope that throughout this kind of presentation, I have one more little piece here that I want to share with you, because I want to provide a little bit extra value this time. Kim, especially since with what's going on, and provide some extra kind of free consulting opportunities, so we can take this conversation further with everyone who decided to tune in, and I'll talk about that in a second. But obviously, this is a very, very deep space of digital marketing. I've spent thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars educating myself, again, millions of dollars online, and I still am not, where I want to be in terms of this. But I hope this presentation kind of give you the gist of it. Create valuable things for your customers that they can utilize, and put that out online, and utilize these algorithms, these data points to take that for you and point it in the direction of the people that you want to see it. Using the links and everything that's in this deck, you should be able to start setting up your business manager. You should be able to kind of go back through this and ideate what's that valuable piece of content. But all of the clients that we work with, these are the exact strategies that we're doing to get them these results. And it's not that complicated. Create valuable stuff for our clients and give it to them using a tool like Facebook. This is the ultimate power of Facebook. I know maybe some people were thinking some organic. A lot of people have questions like, how often should I post? When should I post? Post as often as you have time for. It's very, very busy lives that we live. That's where these paid advertising strategies work a lot better, because I can create a piece of content and I can put it out there for $2 a day, and it's going to get me better results than if I post every single day on Facebook about something that people don't necessarily care about. I want to focus on value, and then using the algorithm to push this in front of people. So I hope this was helpful today for everyone. And I'm sure that you maybe feel a little bit like this kid right here who's just getting blasted with the fire hose. And I just don't worry though. Again, I want to be helpful, and I want to kind of send one last message. This is a message I like to share a lot with trainings like this, because I, like you, most of you who are trying to better our business and grow, can get kind of lost in the mix of all of the ebooks and the PDF downloads and those kind of things that we were just talking about. We can get lost if we don't stay focused. So I like to use this little example here. Play along with me. here is this guy right here. Imagine this is you. You know, you're doing good. You're pretty mildly content here, and what you really want though is on the other side of this big valley, right? Your proverbial pot of gold, right? Our pot of gold could be different for all of us. Maybe it's a vacation with our family. Maybe it's a new car, boat. Maybe it's going full time in our business. Maybe it's taking our business to that next level, whatever that pot of gold is. And I think the number one mistake we make as business owners is this. We do something like this exact training right here. And we start building, which is a bridge, right? To get to our pot of gold, we need to build a bridge, right? To get over there. That's how we get there. And we do that through educating ourselves, through all sorts of tools, things like this to build our bridges so we can ultimately reach our goal, right? Our pot of gold. But the problem is we typically get shiny object syndrome, right? I can imagine we're all guilty of that. We read this about Facebook and then all of a sudden we're on to SEO and we are on to this thing and we're on to this thing. And what we do is the classic syndrome, this slide, this thing that we use, we call it half-built bridges. And sure enough, look at where we're at. We're still over here. Our pot of gold is still here. And we've spent a lot of time and energy working, and we have 3 half-built bridges. So everything, the message that has helped me the most, I know that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett were both asked what attributed to the most to their success. And both of them said without a doubt it was focus, right? So if you can focus on the one thing at a time that you need to do, and that could be what we talked about today. Maybe it's something else that is in your business that you need to focus on. When you can focus, you can build the bridge, and then you can finish this bridge, and then you can finish the last bridge. And ultimately, little stick figure guy, aka us, can dance for joy here in our pot of and get to our pot of gold. So with that, kind of this extra piece, and I don't offer this in most of the trainings. I only do it sometimes. With everything that's going on, I want to be as helpful as possible to everyone. And we've created this thing for businesses, and we call it our 31-point double your sales checklist. And I can even showcase it with you here. I think I have it open. We have this entire checklist that showcases what you can be focusing on. There's a lot of different things to be focused on. And so what I can do is I can share this link, and what I'll do now, actually, if anybody's interested, we'll also get the deck out. I made a calendar appointment here. I'm going to send this to everyone in the chat. I'm happy to meet with anybody who wants to, that might find it valuable, to go over the 31-point checklist that we have to see what it is that you should be focusing on with regards to growing in digital marketing. That's sort of what all of these things are. I could just give you the checklist, but it's less valuable. It's more valuable if we kind of sit down and work through it together. And we can also kind of run through anything else in that time that you feel like would be helpful for you in growing your business, no matter where you're at. If you've already been around for a long time and you're trying to take it to the next level, if you're brand new and you're trying to get started on the right foot, like I said, I've spun my wheels a lot, and I want to help people not do that. That's why, I partnered with SBDC, with Kim, is to be able to share these things that have really helped us. I'm sincerely passionate about it. So if this would be helpful for you, I sent it in the chat here, and you can share this link in the follow-up email, Kim, if that's the best way to do it as well, with the deck for everybody, which I will download and share with everyone.
Yeah, I will be. You send it to me, I'll make sure that everybody gets it, and I will have your contact information there as well, Dallas, so that everybody will have everything that they need to get hold of everybody.
Perfect. Well, that's all I have. I would like to unmute some folks and answer some questions with Anybody who wants to stick around for just a few minutes and answer some questions. I know it was a lot of me talking and not a lot of back and forth this time since we're using Zoom, but does anybody have any questions?
I thought this was a great presentation. I appreciate, learning more about the online and Facebook, because I've always been interested in trying to do that with the business, and you gave me a lot of good information.
Awesome, Keith. I'm happy I could be helpful, man. If you want to talk more ideas, more thoughts, and feel free to schedule a call. And I'm kind of just giving this away while we're in this sort of uncertain time. So
Okay.
Appreciate the feedback too, man.
All right. I got a jet. So thank you so much again.
Take care, Keith.
Bye.
All right. Oh, nope, I can't hear you. I can see you trying to talk there. Oh, we don't know what's going on. You're not muted.
Did you turn on your microphone there, Carolyn? You can chat your question to us.
Yeah.
Or more specifically, Dallas.
Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute. We got time. We're hanging.
Yeah, it's all good. Yes, I see that you said hi. Cool.
Okay, cool. Awesome. If I know, again, Kim, she's recording this, going to put it on YouTube. And so she can share that with you as well. We're going to share you with the deck with you so you can share it. If you want to schedule a call with her together using that Calendly sign up link, I'm happy to do that as well.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, as soon as we finish up, it'll download, then I'll upload it to YouTube. I'm hoping that I'll be able to send it out tonight, but if not, first thing in the morning. So
Okay.
it depends on, also, Dallas, I'll need you to send me your deck and stuff too. So.
Yep, I'm pulling up my Gmail. I'm going to send it over to you right now.
Perfect.
Carolyn, yeah, it's crazy. Most small business owners don't know it exists, and that's kind of why we share it. You're not alone in that. You're not alone at all. It's not something that's quite common knowledge. It's moving very quickly. So I'm glad that you found the value in that, and again, happy to discuss more. Oh, you only signed on by accident. Sort of. Awesome. Well, sorry we couldn't hear you, but if you have any other chat questions, feel free. I know that Kim, you can put my email as always in the chat there. And I guess that'll be it then. Carolyn, have a wonderful evening. Kim, thank you as always for putting this together and allowing me to kind of share this with everybody.
Absolutely. And just real quick, Carolyn, your last name is Testa, right? Okay, then I have your contact information, so I'll be able to send this to you. So just wanted to make sure before I logged off that I have a way to contact you. So good. All right, well then I guess this is all we need. So I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting unless anybody has anything else. That way it'll download onto my computer. The quicker we can download it, the faster I can get it up on YouTube. It takes a little bit to process. So.
For sure.
All right.
Have a great night, Carolyn. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Dallas. I'll look for your email.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, bye. Oh, maybe, there we go. Come on, end the meeting. There we go.